Becky Launder with myconsultanttraining.com, one of your leaders with Usborne Books and more, and I am here to talk about booth events. So if you know me well, you know that I love a good booth. I love doing events, and I love being out in the community and connecting with my customers and watching kids get their hands on books. I also think it is a fantastic way to build your team, get new leads for customers and hostesses, and of course, sales are great too. So we're going to talk a little bit today about events and finding the right event for you and what you need to be successful at an event. And then we'll get into a little bit around event follow-up. So bear with me, this is going to be a little bit longer of a video today because there's a lot of things to think about here. But it's all really exciting, and it's a great way to step out of your comfort zone and get these books in the hands of kids and families all over your community. So first off, I definitely recommend you read the Usborne booth policy. So I'm not going to get into all of the details around the policy here on this video, but there is a written policy. Make sure you read it and you understand it so you are very clear on what it takes to run a booth, and so you're not getting in trouble at all. So first of all, what is a booth? A booth is going to be a temporary setup at a public event. There's usually an opportunity to sell product there, but really the main point of the booth is to get your name out into the community and get leads for parties, team members, and more. So again, take a look at the policies, make sure you understand them. Where to find a booth. So there are so many good places that you can find booths, especially with technology and social media. You can get a pretty good feel of what events are happening out in your community. So this is what I would recommend. I would recommend after this video, hop onto Facebook, look in the event section of events that are popular in your area. I'm pretty sure you can search by filter, like family-friendly events. My criteria for events are kind of twofold, and I would say the first is that it has to be family-friendly. It has to be an event that people are bringing kids to. So you're probably not going to sell a ton of books at like a wine tasting party. You're probably going to do better at like a local concert with kids music. So you want to make sure they're family-friendly, kid-oriented events. The other thing that I look for is traffic. So how many people are going to be attending that event? So if it's a very focused event that is kid-friendly, then if they're only going to have a couple hundred people there, that's still a great opportunity for a booth. If it's a more general event, like a community festival, and they're expecting thousands and thousands of people at the event, that's also going to be a really good option. So of course, the more people that are there at the event, the better chance that you're going to make the connections that you're looking for and the better opportunity for sales. So the bigger the event, the better, and the more targeted audience, the better. That would be my recommendation. The third criteria that you're going to want to think about is the pricing. So when you're doing a booth, of course, they're going to ask for a vendor fee. If you are just starting out with booths, you probably don't want to spend more than like $25, $50 on a booth. I mean, if you can get it for free, by all means, and always negotiate, always negotiate. Tell them that you'll have a kids table, really fun activities for kids to do, bring some doodle cards or paper planes to fold and fly, you're good to go. But always negotiate and ask for a lower price for that booth. So the vendor fee, again, like $25, $50 if you're just starting out for a smaller event. My bigger weekend events, I spend somewhere between $250 to $400 on a vendor fee, but I also know that my sales are going to be really great because they're big, giant festival type events. When you get into doing more educators conferences, professional conferences, things that are held in a conference center, you can expect to pay $1,000 upwards for that booth space. So just kind of think about that broad range. Again, if you are on the newer side to booths, I would start with free, $25, $50. You probably don't want to do more than that at this point. So those are kind of the criteria. How many people are going to be there, what the vendor fee is, and who the audience is for the event. I would for sure ask those questions and find out how long they've been doing the event. If they did the event last year, you know, how many people attended. Ask a lot of questions and don't be afraid to ask for maybe a name of a vendor that was there last year that you can talk to. If you're not really sure about the event, you can always go as a guest, check it out, and kind of scope things out for the next year. So now that you have kind of found an event, you know the criteria that you're looking for, then the first question when you're filling out the application needs to be, do you have an Usborne Books and More representative, or have you had one last year? If they have, full stop, time out. That event belongs to another Usborne consultant. We all love each other. We're really good to each other. Don't try to take their event. You'll get in big trouble. So hold off and go down your list to the next event. Again, reference your policy, the policies on booths, just to make sure you have all your bases covered there. But if they already have a consultant, we definitely do not step on each other's toes, and that would be their event moving forward. If they say they don't, fill out your application. Under the name, you want to make sure that you specify Usborne Books and More / your name. I'd put Becky Launder or Becky's Book Corner. I also make a rule to now make a note on my vendor applications that I put exclusivity for Usborne Books and More, because event coordinators often get confused. Sometimes they book more than one Usborne rep, which is problematic. So I want to make sure that they're very clear that if I'm there representing Usborne, I'm the only vendor that they're going to have representing Usborne. And I try to reiterate that to them if I'm having a conversation as well. So you're registered, you found an event, you're registered for an event, and now let's talk about the event itself. Let's talk about things that you need to set up. And I am going to try to do a video here real soon of my actual booth setup so you can get a really clear idea of what that looks like set up as an event. But I'm just going to give you a whole long list. I will also put this in the blog post. So if you don't have a Square card reader, that's what I use for taking credit card payments or debit card payments. There's a referral link above if you need it. You get $1,000 in free processing. It is so convenient. Most of your people are not going to have cash with them. So use Square, upload your inventory to that. That's going to be super helpful. You're going to want to make sure that you bring a table if you need it. Maybe 2 tables, 3 tables, depending upon how big your booth is. A 10 by 10 booth, I usually do 2 to 3 tables. You're going to want to bring racks or cubes or your branded boxes, bookshelf type setup to have a really beautiful display of the books where they're easy to see. You are going to want a tablecloth for your tables. I love the ones in the back office under supplies. The Usborne tablecloths I think are fantastic. They're a beautiful purple color. You can also find them on Amazon or anywhere else. You are going to want to do a raffle at your event. Even if you're just giving away a mini book, this is going to be the best way for you to collect leads and follow up with people. So you're going to do a lead slip that has their contact information on it. I always ask them if they're interested in a home party, a Facebook party, a fundraiser at their school, my summer reading challenge, my book box club, and I do yes, no, maybe. And if they select maybe, I consider that a yes, and I follow up with them the same way. So you're going to want to have some lead forms that you can put into some kind of jar to raffle off. I always follow up with them and announce my winner after the event. You're going to probably want to bring a couple catalogs with you. Make sure you sticker them, put your contact information on the back. You're going to want to make sure you have a calculator. You probably have that on your phone. Know what your tax rate is in the city that you are going to be having the event at. And you're going to make sure that you're charging the local tax rate, which you can program into your Square card reader so you don't have to do the math on that. You're going to want to bring some pens so people can fill out the raffle slips. If you have an Usborne banner, there's a great one in the back office. I think it's like $25. It's a vinyl banner. It says Usborne Books and More. That's a great option. You can always make your own. I have my own custom banner as well that I really love. You're going to bring a cash box or a cash. I have like a little zipper pouch that I use for my cash. Make sure that you bring, I don't know, somewhere between $80 and $100 in change, I would recommend. Lots of ones, don't forget ones, and then also coins too. Bring your calendar. Bring your calendars. So you want to know what dates you have open for upcoming home parties and Facebook parties, so you can sit there and book a party right with a guest in a booth. So make sure you know your availability. Sometimes I do a open date card, so just an 8.5 by 11 card that I put out on the table that has my next 5 dates and the time slots I have available for parties, and treat it just like a sign-up sheet so people can sign up for those dates right there at my booth. You also want to bring booking incentives. So if you do a coupon for $20 in free books if they book a party at an event, bring that. I do booking bags. I think they're really fun. I usually throw a catalog in, a thank you card in, my business card in, some goodies in there. I have a whole video on booking bags that might be helpful for you to watch. So bring your booking bags so you can actually give someone a gift when they book a party with you. Your business cards, make sure you bring those. Information on the business opportunity. So you can bring just a one-pager about what it's like to be in the book business. I usually don't have a whole lot of that kind of information with me, but I follow up with people almost immediately if they're interested in the business. Receipt slips, I issue my receipts using Square, which it either text or email, so I'm paperless, but you can order receipt slips and mail those, hand those out too. Order forms. So if somebody wants something that you don't have right there in your booth, you want to make sure you have an order form available that you can fill that out and process that order when you get back home after the booth. Obviously you want to bring your books. So you don't have to do a cash and carry event. I find it more successful if you have books available for a sale. No, you can always reorder your books. So if you have a stash of books, don't be afraid to put them up and sell them right there on the spot. If you don't want to, you can always take orders, but just know you'll probably be more successful if you have books that are available for purchase right then and there. If you have been in the business for over 12 weeks and you're eligible for consignment, by all means, take out some consignment, bring that with you to the event. I have a great video on consignment that I'll make available to you as well in the notes for this video. And if you have stickers, bring stickers. I love the kids stickers that you can pass out at your booth. That's kind of a fun way to connect with customers and kiddos. Bring plastic bags to give people their books. It's great branding. They're really affordable in the back office, and it's great to see people walking around with their bag of books. It helps advertise for you throughout the entire event. Signage. So you might want to bring some special signs that have information about like the Shine a Light books and how they work, or the Busy books and how they work. If you have any kind of specials that are running or available, it's nice to have signage for that as well. And I think that's pretty much it. If you're doing an outdoor event, they usually do require a 10 by 10 canopy setup, as well as bringing your own tables and chairs. I don't bring chairs. I never sit down at an event. I am always on my feet, busy straightening up the books, or looking busy, playing with a busy book, interacting with guests, so I very rarely sit down. But if you need to sit down for some reason, bring a chair with you. Consider doing a kids table. That's also a really fun way to draw people into your booth and get them involved with whatever activity you have going on. Busy books are my go-to. So I always have a sample busy book out that I am just sitting there playing with. There's a great training that says the more you wind those busy books, the more you pull them back, the more you're gonna sell. And I can tell you that that is my eye candy. So that is like one of my most secret tips, is I sit there and I wind that car up, I wind that train up the entire event until I'm like hearing the noise in my head like a crazy person. And every kid that walks by has their eye on it. Like, they watch it all the way by, and they're usually tugging at their parents saying, let's go look at that book. Or even adults see the little car moving around on the page and they are captivated and they come into your booth. When you're working a booth, think about inviting them in. So a lot of times people will come up and look at the busy book that I have out, and I found if I say, this is our busy book, it's really fun, every page has a different little track on it, and for sure come in, check out all these other great books that we have. When you have that invitation and you actually say it to somebody, they usually will walk inside your booth and check everything out. They just need a little bit of encouragement and coaxing. The other thing I would say when you're working a booth is that you don't want to be like in somebody's face, handing them books and like kind of being crazy. Like, you want them to come into your booth and browse around. And usually when they pick up a book, they might pick up Tale of Two Beasts, and I'll say, oh my gosh, I love that book. Did you see how there's two perspectives in that book? It starts this way and then halfway through the story it changes. Oh, it has just such a great message. And then I kind of flutter and I walk away and I let them look at it. Then they might pick up nibbles and I'll say, oh my gosh, did you see how there's stories inside of stories? That is my top seller. That is my best selling book. And they'll look at it and they'll say, oh, this is great. And then I kind of walk away and let them look at a few more things. And so, of course, if somebody wants help selecting a book, you can kind of give them a little tour, but actually hand them the book. Let them put it in their hands. Let them flip through the pages and have a chance to check it out. That works really well. Of course, when you are running a booth, you want to be expressing the utmost professionalism. So dress like a professional, talk like a professional, put your cell phone away, don't be sitting down and texting. You want to be taking advantage of that booth and every minute that you're there and making connections with people, booking parties with people, introducing the business opportunity with people, and helping them find the best books for their family. When you're doing the raffle, you are probably going to have to invite people to enter your raffle. If it's just sitting there on the table, people are not going to enter it. But I have little clipboards and I usually hand it to them while I'm checking them out or while they're browsing and just say, hey, and I'm doing a raffle for $25 in free books if you want to enter, and just hand them the clipboard and then walk away. So that works really well. And then of course, after an event, you want to do follow-up. Serious follow-up. You want to follow up with all of your leads. I consider a hot lead somebody that checked yes to booking a party, yes to the business opportunity, or a maybe. And I follow up with them via text message, usually within 24 hours. That's always my goal. And then after that, I will send an email to all of my leads, whether I consider them a hot lead or not, and they get an email from me. I have a whole email series of about 12 different emails they get over the next 8 weeks coming from me. So I'm staying in front of them and trying to build that relationship, inviting them to my VIP group, offering book recommendations, giving them just little bits of information piece by piece by piece after that booth event, so I can make the most of the connections that I make there at the event. So again, making sales at events are great, but really you're there to build those relationships and have long-term customers to build your business. So I hope that's helpful. Lots of information. I know this is like going on 20 minutes here. So I am going to sign off, but if you have any questions about booth events and what works well, feel free to comment below, ask any questions, and then I will also get a video posted very soon about my actual booth setup and give you some visuals of what that looks like and how I engage with my customers at a booth event. So thanks so much, you guys. Have a good one.